Hey actors, welcome back to the Actors Vlog. I'm Stephen Anthony Bailey and this is episode 5. It's all about marketing. Can you believe how quickly we've been through 5 episodes and look how much we've already learned? Marketing and branding are extremely important. If you don't know what your brand is and you don't know how to market yourself, no one's going to know what you're selling. The first thing that I want to tell you about being an actor is that you are a business. You are a small business owner and you have to think like one if you want to be successful. If you're only relying on your talent alone and you're waiting for someone to discover you, it's probably not going to happen. You're a 1 in a million chance of getting discovered and someone saying you're the greatest actor of all time, let's put you in the biggest movies Hollywood has to offer. You don't have an agent or a manager. How are agents and managers going to find you if you're not marketing yourself? So what you need to do is you need to have an internet presence, you need to be going to showcases, you need to be in plays, you need to be making videos, putting them online, things of that nature. We've talked a lot about you creating your own content and taking your fate into your own hands, taking your career into your own hands and showing the world what you do and creating the career that you're dreaming of in your head, because if you wait on it, again, it's not going to happen. So if you don't have an agent or a manager, you really need to market yourself well. It all starts with the 3 basics that you need, which is a headshot, a well-formatted resume, and a good demo reel. Okay, so what I've done is I've brought my personal website up to show you that I have my headshots on my website. I've got, this is pretty much what your headshot needs to look like. You need to go just from above the chest up to the top. Make sure they're not cutting your hair off. Go a few inches above your head. So this is your headshot. Some people can go in for extremely tight close-ups, like an extreme close-up. That's fine too, but the furthest out you want to be is probably just above your navel and a few inches above your head. If you go out any further than that, they're not going to be able to see you. And what do I mean by that? I mean they're not going to be able to see you on the breakdowns. So when you go to the breakdowns, the pictures are going to be this big. How well can you see those pictures right now? Not very well, right? And they don't have time to sit there and click on every single one, blow it up to see what you look like. So make sure that your picture isn't those limitations. For your demo reel, it used to be way back in the day that you would have to get videotapes and you could send an entire VHS videotape to an agent and say, here's every piece of acting I've ever done. Then they said, you know, when everything went digital, they said, okay, let's keep it to 3 minutes, do a 3-minute demo reel showing me everything. Actors used to do things like put themselves doing extra work or just walking around and not speaking. That's not what the demo reel is for. They need to see you speak, they need to see you act. So don't put any of your extra work, even if it's featured extra work, do not put that on your demo reel. Don't put footage from your acting class on a demo reel. And don't put a montage of you walking around or a montage of you driving a car looking angry or a montage of you fighting. Don't put that in your demo reel. They know that you can walk if you say you can walk. They know that you can run if you say you can run. They're gonna believe that you can do those things. So it used to be that you would make a demo reel and keep it at about 3 minutes. They don't want them that long anymore. What they do is now 60-second bits. So you'll go like a 60-second comedy reel, a 60-second romantic reel, a 60-second dramatic reel, a 60-second horror film reel if you want to be in horror films or whatever it is. So you just keep them short and concise into 60 seconds. Sometimes you can do 3 20-second scenes or something, or you can do just one 1-minute scene depending on what you have to offer. So you want to make sure that the quality is good. The number one thing about video is your sound. If your sound is garbage, they're going to think that the video is garbage altogether. So make sure that the sound is professional quality. Make sure that the picture looks good. Make sure that you're seen. Make sure that you're heard well. Make sure that you're doing good acting. Not only you, make sure that your scene partner that you're in the scene with is also a good actor, because if your scene partner is weak, it's going to make you look weak, and it's going to make the production that you're showing off in that demo reel bit look really weak. You want to show all the strength that you have. You want to prove to them that you are a great actor to take a chance on to get the audition or to get the role. And then for your resume, you need to have a professionally formatted resume. When I first started, I went to Google and I just clicked acting resume and I looked through to see which ones were the cleanest and the most professional looking, and I literally just copied that format and took some of my own liberties to make it look the way that I wanted it to look, which you always have to do because you're the business owner. You have to make executive decisions. But that format that I started using, 10 years ago, I still use that same format today. Nothing has really changed on that side of things when it comes to your resume, so make sure that you look that up on Google, find one that is very clean, very easy to read. It goes in 3 columns. So it'll have your name up at the top, it'll have some of your stats if you put them on there. Sometimes you don't have to, it depends on what feedback you're getting. put your agent, your manager up there if you have them, and then you go into your credits. So it goes in 3 columns. It goes into the title of the project, the name of your role, and the director or production company of who made the project. So if it's a film called Until Forever, I played Michael Boyum, but not a lot of people know who Michael Boyum is, so I'll put lead. So it'll be Until Forever, lead, and Lynn Productions. That's for film. So if it's TV, it's a little bit different. They don't want to see the name of your character, and you don't use lead or supporting in TV. You use the terms that TV uses. So were you a recurring? Were you a guest star? Were you a co-star? Were you an under 5? Were you featured? What was it? So if it's TV, you're going to put NCISLA, co-star, CBS / name of director who directed that episode. That's going to be what they see to let them know that 1, it's a real credit, and 2, you know what you're talking about. Because if you put NCISLA supporting and CBS, they're going to see supporting and think that you're an amateur, because that's not the name of the type of role that you had on that show. TV and film are different in that way. Now, then there's theater credits. It's the same thing as film, name of the production, Death of a Salesman. You can put Biff, because a lot of people know Death of a Salesman. If you just put lead, they're not going to know, were you Willie, were you Biff, were you Happy? So I would put Death of a Salesman, Biff, and then put the name of the theater that you performed at. If it's a regional theater, an off-Broadway or an on-Broadway, put that in there as well. That's very important to know. If you've got a ton of off-Broadway or Broadway credits, put Broadway theater there or off-Broadway theater at the top of that column, and that's just so that they know all these are Broadway credits. That's going to make you look more professional. They're going to think even higher of you than they already have. If you just have a bunch of mixed credits in there, they're going to assume most of them are community theater, college, or regional. Then at the bottom of the resume, you have special skills. Don't put anything on there that you're not really good at. Don't say you speak Spanish if you don't speak it fluently. Don't say you are an auto racer if you've never auto raced before. Don't say you know how to ride horses if you're allergic to horses, or if you're scared of horses or have never ridden a horse before. Don't lie on your resume, because if you get to set and they think that you know how to do it and you don't know how to do it, you're probably never going to work again. That casting director's never going to give you an audition again. That director's never going to give you a role again. That production company is going to remember that you screwed up their shooting day and that they had to hire somebody else, and it'll just be bad news. Don't lie. So look how it's formatted. Those are my tips on that. Make sure it's clean and easy to read. So when it comes to agents and managers, I'm going to do an entirely different vlog on that, but what I'll tell you today is treat yourself like a business owner who needs someone to sell your product. You need someone to distribute to you, to Target and Walmart. You can't do it by yourself, right? Some actors carry on business cards. I don't really do that anymore. Some do. Some have postcards. I make postcards all the time. I send them to casting directors. I send them to agents. I send them to managers. I don't need an agent or a manager anymore as of making this video, but that's how I got my first agent, was by sending out a postcard. They called me in for a meeting and then they signed me. That's how I got my second agent. Sent a postcard, called me for a meeting, they signed me. You need to think of yourself as a business owner. You need to let everyone know, hey, we're open for business and we're ready to start selling product. You're the product. Your acting is your product. You are a product, so sell yourself. Sell yourself to the agents, managers, and casting directors. So what changed the entire game in the acting world was the internet. The internet is the biggest tool that you have as an actor ever. What the internet has done in a good way for us as actors is it's given us a lot of freedom to create and to brand ourselves and market ourselves as much as possible. But what it's done in a bad way is that anyone can be an actor now, which is good for you if you're a beginning actor, but it's bad for actors who are trying to find work, and there's a million actors on the internet. How do we filter through and find the top most talented actors? So just know going in that on the internet there are so many actors. There's hundreds of thousands of actors all across the world using the internet. So you need to make sure that you're using the internet to the best of your abilities. There's so many websites I'm going to tell you about, and you need to be using all of them. You need to be doing everything that you can, because you need to think of the acting world as a big ocean, and you, my friend, are a drop. So how are you going to turn that drop into a big tidal wave and make a difference and get noticed? The first thing you need to do before we get into the internet stuff is you need to know what your brand is. What product are you selling? Yes, you're selling you. So if I say, what's my product? Well, I'm selling Stephen Anthony Bailey. Yeah, but what is Stephen Anthony Bailey? Be specific. So for me, what I need to do is I need to figure out what my age range is. I am 28 years old, but I don't really look like that on camera. So, but I also have a certain air of maturity. People aren't going to believe I'm an 18-year-old. So my age range that people are going to believe based on what I look like on camera, how I come off on camera, what my essence is about 23 to 28. It's a 5-year age range. It would actually be 23 to 27, but I'm going to give that extra 28 because of the maturity factor. So again, you have to make that executive decision and figure out what it is. But when most people say, what is your 5-year age range? If you say 23, it's 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. It's not 23 plus 5. But because I think I can stretch based upon how I come off within my essence, I push it to 28. So it's something that you need to figure out for yourself. You need to figure out what the stereotypes of what you look like are. For me, I have slicked back hair. I have an athletic look. I come off East Coast / Midwestern, which is where I'm from, so it makes sense. I come off very arrogant when I'm just being quiet. I took this branding workshop. I sat down. All I said was, "Hi, I'm Stephen Anthony Bailey," and everyone looked at me and it was like arrogant, cocky, this, that. And I don't know what it was, but it also had to do with what I was wearing. I had on a leather watch, my hair slicked back, super tight black t-shirt. I had on my leather boots, and dark blue jeans. So I looked kind of like a rebel. I didn't look kind of like a rebel, I looked like a rebel. So that's why everyone was saying that about me, that I looked arrogant or cocky or whatever. It wasn't something that they were saying personally about me, it was what they were saying I looked like stereotypically. So let that be a lesson to you. What you wear to audition is very, very important. What you wear to a casting director workshop is very, very important because it's going to send a signal into the person who's looking at you, into their mind, and they're going to make stereotypes about you. We all do it. Stereotypes are hurtful. Stereotypes aren't fun to deal with for a lot of people, but we all do it. We all look at people and make an assessment after 2 seconds, 1 second, a millisecond. We're already thinking certain thoughts about somebody that we don't know that may or may not be true. Some of them probably are true, some of them aren't true. I can be cocky and arrogant, absolutely. Am I that all the time? Is that who I am? No. But that goes into the other thing. What is your overall essence? My overall essence isn't really cocky, but I do have an edge to me. I most typically go out for the boy next door, which is thought of as very sweet, but who has this darkness or an edge, or he's dealing with a really heavy problem, like maybe he's dealing with crime, or maybe he's dealing with addiction, or maybe he's suicidal or something like that. The other edge of it is I go out for the boy next door who's in love with the girl, and then it's all romantic and sweet. So those are my two edges of my stereotype and of my essence. Think about who you look like. What celebrity do you look like? Celebrity actor, that is. What celebrity actor do you look like? I've gotten Giovanni Ribisi a lot. I've gotten Michael J. Fox a lot. You probably are thinking, oh, you look like so-and-so right now. That's a good thing. So what I would do is I would go on IMDb and look at what roles they have played, and those are the types of roles you're going to go out for. That's the type of brand that you're going to want to start cultivating for yourself. You need to think, what professions do I look like? Like, where do I stand in this great world of casting? Am I the waiter? Am I the doctor? Am I the dad? Am I the brother? Am I the best friend? Am I the boyfriend? Am I the girlfriend? Am I the singer-songwriter? Who am I? Me personally, I told you I'm the boy next door, but I'm also very blue collar. I'd be going out for the bartender, or for the waiter, or for the construction worker. I would model myself after kind of what Matt Damon played when he was younger, what Michael J. Fox played when he was younger, the roles that Giovanni Ribisi played when he was younger. I would look at those guys that look like me, and I would know that, okay, this is the brand, this is the box that I fit in. We're actors. We want to play every single thing. I want to play an old man with a limp who has this amazing, deep, raspy voice, but I can't do that in film and TV. Maybe I could get away with that in community theater, maybe I could get away with that in high school theater, but this is Hollywood, this is professional. They're not going to want to see you do that. You're going to be in a box of like 4 or 5 different professions, a certain age range with certain stereotypical features towards your personality. So what I want you to do is just get out a piece of paper and a pen and write down what your age range is. Write down what about 5 stereotypes of your personality are. Are you very sweet? Are you shy? Are you naive? Are you mean spirited? Are you vindictive? Are you cocky? Are you arrogant? Are you funny? What are they? Pick about 5 of them. Same thing with profession. Pick about 5 professions, and then pick 5 tendencies of your overall essence, what you think you exude. Take that list and go to about 5 of your friends that you really trust. They don't have to be actors if you don't want. Try not to do it with your girlfriend or your mom or your dad. Don't do that. Or with your boyfriend. Don't do that. Do it with friends that are going to be honest with you, or complete strangers. If you can get complete strangers to do it, or somebody involved in the business, like a director that's not scared to hurt your feelings, show it to them. Don't take any of this personally, because it's not really about you. It's just about your brand and what you exude in those first 4 seconds that they're watching your demo reel, or the first 4 seconds when you walk in to the audition room. So ask them, do these things fit me? Because if you don't understand your brand and you don't know what the truth is about your brand, you're going to be branding yourself wrong and you're not going to be making any sales. Okay, cool. So let's go back to the internet. I'm just going to name a bunch of websites that you should be on. There's a website called Stage 32. People from all over the world are on Stage 32, including me. I'm on there. And it's a great way to network with people, and that it's all about, networking with people near you or far away or whatever it may be, and getting advice and talking to people about the business, and everyone's learning to understand the business. People write blogs on there a lot, giving advice. Some people will go on there and ask a question if they are a beginning actor, and people like me will make videos and post them as the answer. That's what I'm doing right now. I was asked to make a video on branding by a couple of people, so that's where this came from. Everything is done online these days. The physical paper 8x10 photo is pretty much in its last days. I would say within 5 years no one will be printing off their 8x10s anymore as actors. Everything is online. Everything is done on Actors Access. That's used in Chicago, New York, and LA. In LA we have LA Casting. That's what a lot of commercials and short films, student films, web series are done on, industrials and things like that. The Actors Equity website is a great way to see what equity shows are casting in your area, so check that out. Playbill.com is another great one. Backstage, that's a great one for the entire nation. Worldwide, really. You can go on there and look through the breakdowns that they have on there. They give a free trial. You can try it out and check it out, and you build a profile on there, and you just go forward and try to find yourself some gigs. You can also get a subscription to their magazine that they still have. They have an online magazine and still have the paper magazine. It's full of articles giving advice. It's full of interviews with actors. It's full of casting calls. There's Now Casting, which doesn't really get used that much anymore. Casting Frontier is used about, I would say, 5 to 8% of the time in LA when it comes to commercials. It's also got short films and things like that on there. Then there's IMDb and IMDb Pro. This is a big deal because casting directors do look you up. They're going to want to see what you've done. They're going to want to see what your presence is on the internet. I have a lot of tips that I could dedicate towards IMDb Pro. I might actually make a whole other video on IMDb and IMDb Pro, but make sure that you have an account and you get your photo up there, because if you have no photo, it makes it look like you're not really taking your career seriously, because when they look you up, it's going to look like you're a beginner. It doesn't matter what your credits are. If you don't have a photo up, people are going to think that you're not taking your marketing seriously, that you don't take your future and your brand seriously. There's a website called Casting About as well that you should get a subscription to. You can go on to Casting About and you can see what casting directors are casting at the moment. Stage 32 also has a casting call section. They also have it for people who work behind the scenes as well. Now let's talk about websites that are just dedicated towards your marketing. Obviously, social media is a big deal. I know for a fact that on the big studio gigs, they're going to look up how many followers you have, how many tweets you've made, etc., etc. They're going to want to see that you have a social media presence, because live tweeting is a big deal these days, and they want to see that you are bringing an audience to their TV show or to their movie that you can reach out to and say, hey, check out my new movie. I'm in Transformers 7. Go see it in theaters now. That's going to help be free marketing for the studio, and they're going to want to see that you are all about doing that. So be on Twitter, be on Instagram, be on, have a Facebook fan page if you don't want people looking at your personal Facebook page. I personally have both. People I don't know can reach out to me via my Facebook page. Just look up Stephen Anthony Bailey and you'll find me. But I don't do anything on my personal page unless it's a close friend or family. So Facebook fan page, Twitter, Shots, Instagram. I have a personal website. I can't speak on too much about how important it is. I personally like to have my own website because it's got everything on there. It's a one-stop shop to see everything that I do. I've got all the links right here to my Vimeo, my Facebook, my Vine, my Twitter, my IMDb account, my Instagram, my YouTube channel. And I've got my headshots on there, my reels, from voice reels to my demo reels to my resume. I give updates on there. My directing resume is on a completely different page. I've got the press, newspaper articles and news videos and all that kind of stuff on a certain page, and then I've got a contact page that they can talk to my manager or my agent. Again, it's just like your resume. Keep it clean. You don't want it too busy to where people can't focus and really understand what they're looking at. Don't have too much on there. If you're SAG-AFTRA, there's a website called iActor. It used to be used a lot. It's not used so much anymore. Some casting directors do still check it out if they're going to a SAG Foundation casting director workshop. The SAG Conservatory uses it a lot. And I'm sure some casting directors do still peruse through there for actors. LinkedIn isn't really used for actors. I have an account myself because, I don't want to leave any stone unturned, so I go on there and try to keep a presence there as well. A lot of behind-the-scenes people use LinkedIn, so I'm trying to get an edge that way. That's, have a motivation for everything that you're doing. If you're behind the scenes, there's a website called Staff Me Up. There's Craigslist for behind the scenes if you're looking to get some behind the scenes work, which I'll talk about in a second. Acting work on Craigslist is kind of not good. Most people know that if they're casting something, they should be going through Actors Access or LA Casting. It's easier to do so, and you're going to find a better pool of talent. But if you're absolutely desperate to look for acting work, go on Craigslist. If you're in a smaller town that's not Los Angeles or Atlanta or Chicago or New York or up in Canada or Texas or something, let's say you're in Des Moines, Iowa, you can look for acting work on Craigslist. Just make sure that you're being safe about it. Make sure that you are really checking it out, emailing back and forth, finding out, making sure that it's not a scam, making sure that they don't want anything from you, and making sure that you're meeting in safe places, etc., etc. Just always be careful. Vine is a social media platform that is also a creative platform. I talk about Vine a lot. I make Vines myself. It's a way to get an audience that you wouldn't have had otherwise. It's a great creative outlet that you can use every single day, more than once a day, whatever it may be. It's entertaining, and it's a great way to, again, build your internet presence. YouTube is the same way. YouTube and Vine are these great video platforms that we can distribute our work. We don't have to wait for anyone to tell us, yeah, go ahead and make that. No, we can make it and we can show it to the world within the same day if we work fast enough. I'm on both of those, and I'm constantly trying to build my content, gain more viewers, gain more subscribers, gain more likes, gain more views, all of it. You want all of those because if you build it up enough, you can use that as a big bargaining chip when it comes to getting auditions and getting into movies. For instance, I was a first assistant director on a music video for the official music video for Insidious 3, and all the actors on there were YouTube and Vine stars, and they all just got the job. That's it. They got the job. They got the offer because they had such a strong internet presence that we knew if they got the job that our music video would get the most views, thus helping Insidious 3 get more people interested in that film, thus making more money off Insidious 3. It's a whole chain reaction. So, build your internet presence. It's very, very important. There's other sites that I may not know. You might have a profile on Wikipedia. You might have a Google Plus account. There's so many websites that you can be using. Just use all of them. Figure out what works for you, go do it, and just build something. So what am I saying to you? Marketing is very, very difficult. When you're a professional actor, it's about 80% marketing, 20% actual acting. If you just want to act all the time, it needs to be a hobby and just stay at your community theater and do play after play after play like I did before I went pro. You are a CEO. Great CEOs who are entrepreneurs, who started their companies, didn't make profit for a long time, weren't successful for a long time. It takes a lot of work to make a successful brand, a successful company, and you have to be willing to put in that much time. So you have to go to all those websites, you have to send out the postcards, give people your business cards, go to networking events, you have to go to acting classes, you have to go to workshops with casting directors, you have to do everything that you can to show people who you are as an actor, to show people what your brand is, and show people that you're worth giving an opportunity to. You have to learn to love the grind, you have to learn to love hard work, and you have to learn to love your brand. If you don't love your brand and you don't believe in your brand, no one else will. That's the same thing you do as an actor, right? You make other people believe what you're doing. So just do that. Alright everybody, that's it for the Actors Vlog. That's episode 5. Get out there on the internet and market yourself. Get out there in the real world and market yourself and start finding yourself some jobs. Find me on all those websites I listed. Let me know if you have any questions and click subscribe. We'll see you on episode 6.